Sorry, here we go. We're going to begin performance evaluation. I'm going to go through the PowerPoint presentation first, okay? And then after the PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to give you a demo on the actual review process this year, okay? So again, if you have any questions, just go into the chat box, send me a message, and we'll answer you back. But at the end of the presentation, there'll be enough time for Q&A questions so that we can answer your questions lively. I'll unmute everybody, okay? So let's begin. So again, this is performance evaluation for the 2015-2016 performance evaluation. And again, this is going to be for the full 12 months. And for the field, it was from 7/1/2015 through June 30th of 2016. Okay? So here we go. Introduction. There are no self-evaluations this year. So that means that the employees will not be participating in their, they will not be writing any performances on their behalf. It will be by Manager 1 and Manager 2, which will actually only oversee what Manager 1 has done. And then evaluations will be completed by management. Reviews conducted between management and employee. And that will be like the performance review when you set up a time to meet with your employee. And signatures and final comments by employee. So if you can see the graph down here, the way it's going to work, and again, there'll be a demo of their self-review, of the review, so you'll know how this is going to look. But just to help you visualize it, Manager 1 will have their employees' performance reviews in their inbox on Monday, September 19th, okay? There'll be due dates, and then we'll look at the next PowerPoint with the due dates. But once Manager 1 completes their reviews, it will go to Manager 2. Manager 2 will overlook the reviews. They'll have comments if they want to, if they need to add, they want you to delete some things, enhance some things. Or they'll say, yeah, complete it, and they'll send it right back to Manager 1 again. Now, if the review is set to go and there was no issues with it, the manager can, again, send it to the employee. But if Manager 2 said, no, I want you to fix some things, then Manager 1 would have to fix the issue, send it back to Manager 2, and repeat the process. Once that's done, then Manager 2 will send it to Manager 1. They would sign and complete it and send to employee, okay? Once it gets to the employee part, and this is something you'll sit down and talk to your employees about at the time of their review, is that if they wish to make a comment on their performance review, they'll be able to, once you send them the review to sign and complete, there'll be an area for a comment section that will let them have a voice if they wish to. It's optional. They don't need to be forced. It's not mandatory. It's only if they wish to comment on their review. Okay? And if not, they could just sign and complete it, and that's it. It goes into final submission. Okay? So goals. Review and complete from last year's expectations if applicable. So last year we did have goals that were set out to task to the employees. And so again, some employees will have those, some employees who might have come on board in the mid-year, only been here 4 months, 3 months, so that would not be applicable for them. So I'll tell you what to do in the review if that's the case. But if not, then you can access your employees' reviews through your regional. They can pull up and print last year's goals if any of your employees were assigned goals, okay? And in there you'll find in the goals section of the review from last year what their manager wanted them to do. And then again, they'll be rated. And again, I will show you that as we go into the demo of the review. Competency ratings set for team members based on titles. I'll show you that in a bit, and then you'll see what that looks like. There was 3 reviews this year. There's one for maintenance techs on down, like groundskeeper, food servers, cooks, food servers. So a different review was made up for these employees with these kind of responsibilities. I think the questions tailor more to what they do. So that's something new this year. And then we have one for the office staff, and of course the ones for leaders. Developmental comments. This year again, you will not write comments in each competency section. Many of you are new to the process, many of you are not. So to the ones who are not new to the process, last year every time you rated someone within a competency, you have to write something in the comment box next to it. That will be not the case this year. It's going to be a little more simple. You just check the rating. But again, I will show you that as I demo the review. You're required to write comments in the developmental section. So there's goals, competencies, and there's an area called developmental section. That's where you'll write your comments about the whole review on your employee. You know, kind of summarize where they need to improve, praise them where they've been doing a great job, what you'd like to see them do for the coming year, what resources do you need to have them to improve upon. They're inconsistent. So you kind of summarize it, and instead of putting it into the comment section, you kind of just do it all in one. Okay? Again, I will show you that as I demo the review for you. In the review process, the system will give an overall score to your employees based on the above sections. Okay? And then you're required to go reach review with your employee one-on-one. So goals. So if employees have goals from previous year, review and rate the completion of the goals based on last year's evaluation. These were the goals, the 3 E's, which is energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. The second one was Jonah's rule, treat it like it's your own, and ownership, contribution to the development of GK. So these are going to be the 3 goals from last year that will be on the review for this year. Okay, and I'll show you how to rate those. The competencies, this is 2 of them right now. For managers, you have a 7 of total, and the difference between the office and the manager is the last 2, which is team management, team development, and mentorship. Anyone in a leadership role, like a community manager, a senior maintenance manager, or maintenance manager would get these. These would be more for the office staff, which could be your ACM, your assistant community manager, your leasing agent. But no worries, I will be distributing them correctly to each employee by their title, so you don't have to worry about that. The third one I talked about is the field employees, and this is a new one from the maintenance tech, you know, to a janitor, a groundskeeper, a food server, a driver, a cook, a sous chef. These are based more upon what they do as far as the responsibilities, like their work product, dependability, cooperativeness, adaptability, communication, service to clients / public, because they do service a clientele or the public. So, and these are the ratings. Last year we had 5. There'll be only 4 this year. So you see this exceeds expectations, meets expectations, inconsistently meets expectations, and unsatisfactory. Okay? And the ratings are all the same for all employees. The ratings, each one here, and you'll be receiving this PowerPoint after we're done with the WebEx, so you're all going to be getting this, so you can follow it, and it should help you. Again, the explanation for each of the ratings. Okay, exceeds expectation. Employee displays a high level of performance, exceeding requirements in some areas. Meets expectation. Employee reliably maintains an effective level of performance. Now, you know, people tend to think that meets expectation is not a good rating. It's actually a good rating. It means that the person is actually doing their job, and that's a good thing. When you go to exceeds, that's someone who actually displays a high level of performance, exceeding outside their area of requirements already. So take a look when you're doing your performance review for your employees. Don't feel bad if they have these expectations. This is great. We want all our employees to do their jobs. Now, if they go above this in some of their areas, great. Explain it and where they do. But again, this is a very good rating. I don't want it to be misunderstood. Inconsistently meets expectation. Employee performance is inconsistent and at times falls below acceptable levels. So this means sometimes the employee does their job and sometimes they do not. So there's inconsistencies. So we need to, in this area, you would need to kind of explain maybe in the developmental comments where they need to help themselves here. And then, of course, unsatisfactory employee performance is consistently low and regularly fails to meet required outcomes. Okay? Developmental comments. The developmental comments should further the employee's career development at GK. So this is where you kind of summarize all the ratings you gave your employees. Discuss overall performance, and the employee can continue to develop and grow. Give them positive feedback for every one area of improvement. Add areas you'd like them to further develop, or where they need to, you know, actually help, or where they need to improve their performance. Discuss training you would like them to complete. And when we do training, I think it's very important to also follow through to make sure that we give them the resources we want them to get training and follow up with your employee if they are actually completing the training, okay? The review process. Before submitting an employee's final review, take a minute to step away. The number one goal is for each employee to gain insight into their strengths and areas where we can all improve. We all can improve in our jobs, right? And even be a stronger team member, so together everyone achieves more. Schedule a meeting with each staff member ahead of time to review the performance evaluation individually. Avoid meeting times that are busy or stressful. Again, that's not good to the employee or fair. So again, I think it's very important that when you do set up a time with your employee, is that you're away from a stressful situation. If you have to borrow a conference room I know in the field sometimes that's hard because community managers are in an office where it's shared. Maybe you have a rec room that you can get away to and take a moment just to be alone on a one-on-one with your employee, okay? It's not fair to the employee if you're stressed in that moment, if you have the phones going on, there's people around you, and no one should be around you when you're doing a one-on-one on an employee with an employee's review. Again, don't squeeze in the review right before lunch or between another meeting. You don't want to be rushed. The employee will know that you're rushing it, and that's the last impression you want to give to your employee. So the review process, the duration, I would say at least a 1-hour meeting. It is better to schedule too much time versus too little time. The environment, again, meeting in a neutral and private space, and I cannot stress this enough, it needs to be a private space. Turn off emails, phone, and give the employee your time and attention. The atmosphere. Discussions should support conversation and cooperation. Include open-ended questions and an opportunity for feedback. Share your feedback openly, but respectively. Thank the employee for their hard work. After the meeting, submit the review to the employee. Each employee must have ample time to log into UltiPro, myself, reviews. This is where they would go. View their review, add any optional comments if they wish to. Again, it's not mandatory, only if they wish to. Then accept and sign and complete the review for final submission. Okay? So again, this is helpful because many of our employees don't always access UltiPro every day. So your assistant would be to help them log into UltiPro, myself, and reviews, and show your employee where their actual review is sitting. And again, you'll be seeing this in a demo from the employee part or aspect, so you'll be able to see that and help the employee either go where they can add comments. You don't have to sit there with them to do it, but they can add their comments, but just to guide them into where they need to go. UltiPro Sample. So log into UltiPro, go to your message in the top right corner of the page, access each employee's performance review to complete. This here basically means it's for you, and Monday morning you'll have all your employees' reviews in your inbox. Again, I'm going to demo where it is for you to go to because there are areas people tend to go to, and you will not be able to access your employees' reviews from that point. But I will show you where to go, and we're going to go into a demo right now. So anyone have questions before we go into that you want to put in your chat box? Okay, or you can ask me now. I've unmuted everyone. Any questions so far? Oh, no questions, so we're going to go now to, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, it looks much easier, thank you.
Oh, I hope so. So I'm going to show you the demo, okay? So we're going to do that right now. So let me go through the whole demo, and then once that ends, I'm going to open you guys up again and unmute you, or you can ask all the questions you want, okay? So let me, okay, here we go. We're going to do a demo now. Let me go into my inbox, and I'll show you where to go. Give me 1 sec. So when when you see your reviews, well, for instance, when you go into UltiPro, you sign in and you usually get this whole page here, right? So you will see this, right? If you go in here, you're going to think you can access your performance reviews for your employees, but you will not be able to. This is what show up. So there's no way for you to access that. So if you go back into your inbox, the only way to do that is, let me go back. I'm going to sign in and go back in again, because I want to show you where you exactly what it looks like when you should go. So again, this is no, don't go here. This is letting you know. It's just a message letting you know there are reviews sitting in there, something sitting in your inbox. That's all that's what's there to do for you. So it's a to-do to know that something's there for you. Where you need to go is your inbox, right here. And here's the first one. This is the one I'm going to use. Now, you can't go, if you go in here to say where it's initiated, the time and date, people tend to go there too. And again, all you're going to get is this, okay? So where you need to go is where it says edit. And most people get confused with that because you associate the word edit with editing a review or something. Actually, they probably should put start, but edit is where you go. Click on that. Give it a minute. It's a little slow. And voila, here is the actual review. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do, we're going to start first. There's goals, there's competencies, developmental comments, overall comments, and that's going to be optional as well. And I will tell you where to go. So here we go. Here are the goals. You start here. Start. You click on start. And here are the 3 goals from last year. Okay? So there's a 4th one added in there. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn off, which I haven't. So the only ones that count are the 3 from last year, which is the 3 E's, Jonah's rule, and ownership. Here are the ratings. You have to click each rating. The only time you're going to add a comment in the boxes will be for the actual goals, because what you're going to have to look from last year is what goals were set for your employees, if applicable. Meaning we're not giving goals because they came in during the half year. They've been here only 3 months. So what you would do is just so they could follow through and keep going. If they had no goals, you would just put not applicable, okay? But you have to give it a rating so that it could keep going, because if not, it will not allow you to keep going. And I'll show you why and how. Now, if they did have goals, you would actually have to input here what their goals were, and if they actually did complete their goals. So if it was, say it was, I'll give you a simple example, was it a class they needed to take, or they needed to turn over units in a certain amount of time? You say, yes, John Joe completed his goals this year for turning maintenance in a specific amount of time. But it has to be off last year's goals and what the actual manager set for them, okay? I know some of you are new to the process as community managers and regionals, but you can access their goals from last year through the regionals can actually access a community manager's employees' goals from last year. And again, I will help you with all that. You know, you're not alone. It's not like Monday, everything comes and you're on your own. You're not. We're here to assist you. So here we go. So if they did have the goals, you would have to actually rate it. Was it unsatisfactory? Did they inconsistently meet their goals? Did they meet them? Which is great. And exceed it means they went on and beyond. So I would do that, and I'm just going to put test here just to keep going. Same thing here. I'm just going to put meets expectations, and again test. Did they meet their expectations and consistently met it? Same thing here. I'm just using this as a test. This one, you disregard. I have to turn this one off. This has something to do with the goals from last year. And then you save it. I would also recommend as you type and input, you save and make sure this is saved successfully. Many times last year, a lot of our managers were inputting all their comments, and they thought they saved, and they went out and they lost everything. So So as you input, as you check something off, please save, 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 save. Okay? Once you are done, you can save and close. While it's still in Manager 1, well, you can go back and you don't have to send it off. You give yourself a day or two. If you want to go back and make changes, you can. So here you go. Competencies is the next one. You click. So this is what's different this year, okay, as well as rating the goals. Is, for instance, here's the first one, cooperative attitude and professionalism. Kind of take each one as a read it, aligns activities with department and company priorities. Shows a strong level of ownership. Always represents our company well. Approaches team assignments with a positive attitude. Accepts responsibility for actions. Welcomes constructive feedback. So you look at that question, look at the employee's performance for the year, and go here. Okay? No comments in this area at all. Unfortunately, we could not turn off the box, but it's just like, you know, there's no comments at all. Just rate it. Same thing here with initiative. Okay? Initiative is regularly takes responsibility in areas beyond basic duty. Creative problem solving without being directed. Leads by example. Assumes new responsibilities when the opportunity arises. Continually raises the bar. Number 3, knowledge of work. You know, again, no comments. Just serves as a resident expert. Shares the knowledge with peers. Technically adapt, keeps abreast of industry trends. Documents processes. This one here, mentorship and team development. This is one of the questions that only be given to community managers or maintenance managers or senior managers with employees under them that they supervise. And this one is mentorship and team development. If you're not a leader, you will not have that question in there, just to let you know. I just wanted to use one template for everybody, but if you're not a manager, you will not have this question, okay? So again, you've got to make sure you rate it, and no comments at all. Productivity, again, read your questions, see how it relates to your employee and where you think you could rate them. Quality of work, again, no comments. And team management, this is the second question, again, for just leaders, community managers, senior managers, anyone who manages employees under them, okay? So for the regionals, this is for you to, when you actually evaluate your community managers and your maintenance, or community managers and regionals, this is where you would use these 2 questions for your, I think, maintenance managers and senior maintenance managers, okay? Again, no comments. So you're going to save and close. And you notice that both of these are checked off. If you find that there's no green check, you're going to find something that says incomplete. It means that you haven't really quite finished your review. Maybe you missed a rating, which in this case it would be a rating, okay, because we're just checking it off. Same thing with the goals. When you're dealing with the goals, you do have to make a comment in the box to make sure that you put down the goals that were actually assigned to the employees last year and if they completed them or not, and you rate them. The developmental comments, and this is where you would go to kind of summarize everything for your employee, and you would add your comments in here. You know, talk about their highs and their lows, what you would like to see them doing in the coming year. Do you like to see them going to extra classes to help them, any extra training, where they need improvement? We're also going to be sending you a link to Grace Hill on how to do a performance review. It gives you kind of helpful ideas on how to start one to kind of get your thoughts together. So that'll be sent out to you, which is a great resource and tool, okay? We will be tools for you as well, but that's one way to start because it'll help you start the thought process. So we don't want to make it too difficult, but you want to put, and it should be simple and basic for the employee, but you want to make sure you put in the information that you want to articulate to them and what they're doing well in, where they need to improve upon, and anything else you want to put in there, okay? And again, a review should be positive. I like to tell that to everyone. Again, telling someone they need to improve is a good thing because you're helping them. It's on the employee whether they want to get there or not, but we are here to help provide them that. So again, look at the performance review as a positive, okay? And that's how we need to come across. So I'm just going to put test here, and then again, as you're typing and you're putting stuff in there, make sure you save, and that it says save successfully, because if it doesn't, it will not save, okay? And you can always go back in again. If you have not sent off the review, you can always go back in there if you want to take time away from the reviews, go back from the second day, you can do that, or go back to after an hour or so, you can do that. Now, here you will not see the green check, okay? But you have to go in here in order to summarize your employee's review from the competencies. Overall comments, optional, you know, it's optional. You can go in there and actually add comments if you want to further make more comments for other things. Don't have to, but it's there. And it's there for the manager 1, for manager 2, who could actually go in there and make comments, okay? And that would be save and close, okay? So once this is done, let's say you're ready to go, and I want you to give me a quick minute. I need to change this so that I can be able to keep going, because if not, I'll have to go to Leslie to say, you got to do this, Leslie. Let me change Leslie to me. It's a quick sec, and I'm going to show you what and how this is going to work. So give me 1 minute, less than a minute to change this quickly. All right, I'm going to go back to the review. Okay, so here we go. So technically, once you're done, you're going to see a final score, right? It'll tell you exceeds expectations. It's rating the, it rated the actual competencies, and then the goals are rated here, okay? Then we go here where it says send to the next contributor. This would actually be manager 2. So my manager, which is Leslie, you previously saw her name was there, but in order for me to continue to show you everything, I changed it to me. So I became manager 2 as well. As a manager 1, you would say, you know, please review. I'm just going to say, please review performance review. Please review performance. And I'm just kind of putting an example in there. So your manager 2 would go, you would make any comments you want in there. What would happen is it would go to your manager 2. It'll say, are you sure you want to send this review? You're going to say, yes, okay. And then manager 2 will get it in their inbox. Right now, I'm acting as manager 2. And what happens when manager 2 receives it, this is what comes up. They may go in there and view it because they're only in view mode, okay? They cannot make any changes to your review, but they can ask you through routing comments to make changes to the review. Okay, please make changes. Question 1, it's an example. You know, so on. It's just an example. But again, manager 2 cannot go back and make any changes in your review. They can only make add comments in the routing comments. Okay. So let's just say everything's fine. They say everything's good to go. I'll skip ahead. Please proceed. I'm just going to use an example. And let's say here, send forward to Silvia Bacall to sign incomplete. Only if manager 2 says it's fine. If they feel that you need changes, they'll put their changes in this comment area. They would actually click on here, send back to Silvia Bacall for changes. Okay. Once I make those changes, I send them back to manager 2. They read it, they view it, and then if everything's good, then send forward to Silvia Bacall to sign incomplete, which I will do. I'm going to say okay. And then it comes back to me as manager 1, going to my edit. And if everything was fine, what you see now is send forward to Cindy Jobel to sign and complete. I use Cindy as my guinea pig this year. So what would happen here is before you send this to your employee to sign and complete, and you're completed with the performance review, what you're going to do, don't send it yet. Print out the actual review, set up a time with your employee to meet with them on a one-on-one. And I think prior to you meeting with the employee one-on-one, give them their performance review maybe an hour or 2 hours before so they could read it. So they don't just walk in there with you and you're reading it over with them. Let them read it. Let them see it. And then they can come in, they can sit down with you, they know what to expect, and you go over the review with them. That's just a suggestion. You may think different, fine, no problem, but I would still print out the actual review even if you don't give it to them ahead of time, so they could sit at your desk with you and they could actually look at it, review it first, and then you go over it, okay? If they're good to go, everything once it's been completed, you would say, I'm going to go ahead and send it to you now. And this is where I would go and send here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have you see it from the employee's perspective and what they're going to see from their end. And Cindy's going to come over now, and you'll see it from her. And again, you're going to see this little thing pop up. So are you sure you want to send this review? And it does just kind of help you because sometimes people say, oh, no, never mind, cancel because I need to do one more thing. So just do it all slowly, okay? And if you run into a problem, call us, and we will help you with it, okay? So Cindy's going to go in here now and actually go in as herself, and then you'll see how you're going to see it from a employee's perspective. Just give her a minute to log into her UltiPro. And she's going to go slowly, and where you can see where the employee has to go and actually access their review. It's a little different from a manager.
Okay, so I'm the employee that's receiving the review. And one thing that's really important is that although it says to do, and this is red flagging me that it's my review is there, you can't access the review through this box. If you click on that review, you won't be able to do anything with it. And we got a lot of phone calls last year with how to access the review, so just keep in mind that there's another way to access. So the employee would actually have to go to myself. Under the jobs tab, there's reviews. You click on that, and that's where the reviews will be. The in progress one, which would be the most recent date, that's the one that you would have to click on. So here's the actual review. I can go into all of the sections to view what my supervisor has scored me. And then at the bottom where it has the final comments, I'm able to type in my comments, my opinions, anything that I feel that I need to express would be on that section. It's not mandatory, but if an employee feels they want to express something to their manager, they can do so in that box. And then after they're done, they would just hit sign and complete. I'm not sending mine yet, so yeah. I won't click on it, but they would just click on that, and then that would be it.
So that's basically the review process this year. So I'm going to unmute everybody to make sure that, but before I do that, I just want to let you know again, September 19th, you'll have all the reviews in your inbox. The review periods for the last 12 months, so we're looking at 7/1/2015 through June 30th of 2016, okay? And again, you'll have your stuff in there on Monday. If there's an employee who is no longer with the company, no worries. We'll cancel that, so don't worry about that. If there's someone that's missing that you think should have a review and didn't get one, no problem. We can distribute one to them. Again, you won't be alone, but again, there is issues with making sure that as soon as you get them, please start it, okay? Every manager has a due date, and that's in your, I think I might have missed this, but let me go over it with you in the, I'm sorry.
They have my screen now, so I'm going to bring it up on my screen.
So give me a second. I missed one area of the PowerPoint, and it's the timeline, which is very important. So the timeline says for Manager 1, September 19th through September 30th, okay? So September 30th is the due date for Manager 1. Then Manager 2 gets to view them from October 3rd through October 14th. And October 14th is the due date for the actual Manager 2. October 17th through the 28th, that's the time frame for all managers to reviews are to be presented to employees. They'll set up time frames and make sure they're all timed correctly and you have enough time to present to every one of your employees. Once presented, please send the review to each employee to sign and add additional comments if needed. So again, 11/19, these are the date the raise takes effect, and 12/9 is going to be the first paycheck distributed to employees with the new rate if they qualify based on performance. Okay, everything's based on merit. So I think that's it. I'm going to unmute you now to see if you have any questions. Any questions?
No one has any questions for the wonderful Sylvia? We have Sylvia and Cindy here. So if you have any questions, now is the definite time to ask them.
Is it easy?
I have a question.
Please.
Everybody.
It's Ann, or is that Ann? Or?
It's Ann at El Cajon. I was moving somebody in, so I missed the first portion of this. It looks like on here you're going to have it up on Grace Hill where I can review it again. Is that correct?
So Ann, this is Michelle from training. I am going to be sending everyone the PowerPoint to review and a recording of this webinar. So you guys will all have access to this information. I will be sending that by the end of today.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
And anyone else have any questions?
I have a question. It's Robin from Palm Court. I just was wondering if the previous year's reviews are those presented on when we go in? We'll have access to that, or we have to get that from a regional separately?
You should have access to that, Robin. You're the executive director of Palm Court, right?
Right.
Yeah, you'll have access. And we'll help you with that, don't worry. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Was it easier for the ones who have gone through this process for the last 2 years or last year? Was it a little more easier, more simplistic?
Yes.
Hard to say so far, but I think you guys will be happy with all the changes.
I have a question for Sylvia. This is Cleo.
Yes,
So
Cleo.
that means, Sylvia, so that means that the regionals are going to be doing our reviews, right? We don't have to review our own self.
No, no self-reviews. If you're a community manager, your regional will have to do your review. Yes, correct.
Okay, and I just have to review my maintenance. That's all that I have to do, right?
Whatever you
Okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Any more questions?
No,
Okay, if not, again, you will not be alone in the process. You reach out to Human Resources. We're here to help you, and or Michelle, whichever, we're here to help you and get you through. Okay?
Thank
so,
you.
again, it's important to start. Okay? Thank you.